We're with Miss Anita Lewis with Economic Opportunity Program, better known as EOP, here in Elmira, New York. I just wanted to say thank you for joining us today, Anita. My name is Carrie Ann Tribe-Philhar. I am a career specialist, career navigator, and offender workforce development specialist here with CSS Workforce New York. We bring these virtual meet the employers so the employer and the job seeker can connect, and it gives the job seeker an opportunity to ask those questions that they may not normally tend to ask. So, Anita, I am going to turn it over to you. I know today we're going to kind of speak on your food and culinary program,
Mhm.
but we can also kind of discuss a little bit what EOP does, their vision, and what they actually provide for our community.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for having me today. I mean, these are things that I really like to do, to get the information out. But EOP, we're located on the corner of Baldwin and Fifth Streets in Elmira. And we're now 56 years old, and we've been here for a long time. Basically, operating programs. We came out of the Lyndon B. Johnson anti-poverty legislation back in 1965. So it's kind of like grassroots, boots on the ground programs, basically figuring out what was going on, in the communities. And childcare was a big one. So childcare is our largest division here. So we have Head Start, Early Head Start, Head Start. We have our after school programs, which is Centers for Excellence. We have our after school program at Ernie Davis Community Center for middle and high school kids. We have our weatherization program, family support, adult literacy, and we have our veterans program, which is actually at Libertad, which is to my left. I always point to my left, sits next door to us, and it's the Libertad apartment complex that has about 91 units. 20 of those units are for homeless veterans. So that's another program that we have. And so we have 7 divisions. So with those programs, when we bring families in, we try to connect them to as many services as we can. And the culinary arts program is our last one. So it's called Community Food for Jobs. It was created out of the America's Recovery and Reinvestment Act probably a few years back. And so we're like, what do we need? And what we did is we did some research around the culinary need or in food service, the need. And what we found out was that food service was the 4th highest employer in Chemung County. So it's like, okay, we need to kind of fill this niche if we can. So what we did is we wrote the program. We got funded actually so that we could, do our kitchen, renovate our kitchen, and we created this 10-week culinary arts training program. So we have, 10 weeks, it's 10 modules, and we actually have a chef that right now we do not have a chef, but our goal was that we have a chef and that we go through these 10 modules for 10 weeks. And so what happens is they have some class time, where they learn about the Serve Safe certification, handling food safely, cooking food properly, learning their way around the kitchen, professional etiquette, how the attire with the shoes and, gloves and, nets or hats or whatever, and just really basically learning how to cook food. In a lot of restaurants, we know they do line cooking. What we do is we do cook. And so it gives you really the experience to have some actual cooking, because you still have to, with your online or, not online, but in your in-class, you still have to read. You have to read instructions. You have to read directions. You have to understand the recipes. So even with line cooking, it's important that you have your book work. So we do that. And then we have our on hand so that you're in the kitchen, because not only do we just have a kitchen, but we feed all of our Head Start kids out of it. So we serve over 190,000 meals per year, probably more now. We actually have a contract with Finn Charter School across the street. So we do over 150 lunches 3 times a day. We prepare all the summer meals when summer programming comes, summer food, summer meals. We do all the summer meals, usually for at least 3 to 4 sites. Right now we're doing curbside meals since COVID. So we're doing probably about 150 meals a day, breakfast and lunch. So we have breakfast from 8 to 10, and then we have dinner from 4 to 6 every day. So with our community, we have people that come up on their bicycles, they walk, they drive. And so we prepare all of those types of meals. We even work with summer youth employment to have some of their students come and work with us in the summer. So what we've tried to do, even with Bob Harris at the Youth Bureau, is to say, okay, we need some culinary students. We can do those kids for 6 weeks. Let's do a modified, type of training for 6 weeks for some of the younger students. And we take them at any age. They have to be really at least 18 and all ages. And we've gotten all ages, from 18 to 60. That we train. Right now, currently with the program, we are thinking of really doing some virtual stuff. And so it's another way to do it, because it's been hard for us, not to have people, come and be here every day for, 10 weeks. So we're thinking about doing some virtual training for people to get their ServSafe certification. And this ServSafe certification is a national certification. So it is recognized in, your smaller restaurants, your bigger restaurants, nursing homes. That says, hey, I have been trained to handle food properly. I know how to temp food properly. I know when I need to discard food, how long we can keep food the way it needs to be temped, whether it's in, refrigeration, whether people are cooking it, and all of this. So those are the things that you learn, and you carry those skills with you. So for EOP, this is kind of your first pass at culinary training. And then if you want to go on to school, it really gives you an insight to, hey, I want to take this further, and I want to go to Alfred and go into their culinary program, or I want to go to, a culinary arts school, and really, up your skills. This gives you really the stepping stone to the Olive Garden, to Red Lobster, because I know that they have some special trainings for people that want to be like their head chefs or their head cooks, to, cook all of their recipes properly and be head chefs. So, it's not that you have to go to culinary school and maybe get, a higher level of training, but if you get some of our training, it really tells you, talks to you as to whether you really want to go further. But it could give you a really good leg up in the Olive Garden, Red Lobster, Wegmans. Wegmans have chefs all over the world, all over their, I think it's now they're in Maryland, New York State, but they have them all over the place. So, this culinary program, it's a need. It is always a need. Even when we open back up from COVID-19, these restaurants are going to reopen, and they really need good people that have good skills around, the training of handling the food, good skills of showing up on time, good skills of calling off, calling, at the proper time. And, you can go into management. You definitely can go into management, even in food service, and it's a hard profession. It's not, it can be difficult, but it can be very rewarding as well. So, any questions so far? I mean, I know I just have like one person here, but, any questions, Carrie Ann, for you that I might have missed or anything like that?
Not at this appointment. I really like the idea of you thinking about going virtual, as we reintegrate back into what our new normal is, if you will. So I think it's great. So if somebody were wanting to join this training, how would they go about that?
Okay, so they will, number one, you can call EOP, which is 734-6174, area code 607, and my extension is 232, but they will probably send you up to me. And basically what we do is we take your application, we do an interview with you. It is an income eligible program, but we don't turn anybody away. We don't. And once we interview you, usually we go through a second interview with the chef and we tell you what it's all about and the commitment, because it is a commitment to get your, Serve Safe certification and to really go through the program. And so once we get the interview and we accept you into the program, then we bring you in, and the program usually runs Monday through Friday, like at 8:30 to 3:30. We've even talked about flexing some of that because we know some people are trying to work and they're trying to do some things. So, but usually it's a day, like a day shift, like 8:30 to 3:30, Monday through Friday, where you're with us. And as I said before, we do a lot of catering. So your hands-on is really working with all the food that we prep. I mean, we do lunches for some of the businesses in the area. We've done lunches for DSS. So all of the food that we prepare, the students get to work with all of that because we need you. We need you as an extra pair of hands. And I'll just say, some people are like, well, we always are working. Well, that is what you are going to do. You're going to do that with us. You're going to do that with somebody else in this field. So we give you a really good hands-on experience to work with food service and its presentation of your food. It is how everything is done. So you learn from top to bottom with this program. So they just got to give me a call and we go through the interview process, the application process, and we don't turn anybody away. If you're committed and we see that you really are committed and you want to, be in the class, we will take you in the class.
That's wonderful. So, how would somebody find funding on this program? Is it through EOP? I do know that culinary and food service is on the local occupation and demand list. So it's something that the community or individuals would be able to reach out to those funding sources.
I mean, well, they could, but basically we have funding. The class is free. So the class is free. We have funding. We always want to work with CSS Workforce for whatever reason. And like I said, even with some of the funding, when we have funding, but it doesn't cover everything. But we do what we do. It covers what we need. And, but if there's other things and say that the person is coming through CSS Workforce and they need some other supports like transportation or childcare like that, then we welcome that because it just makes them easier to come, for them to come to class. Yes. No barriers to access. And that is not what we want to do. We want to remove those barriers to access. So, Carrie Ann has been very gracious to always tell me this is what we got or this is what we have. So, if we can partner, that's what we do. Our partnerships are very, very important as, on the brochure, solving problems through enhanced partnerships and community partnerships. That's what we do. We piece it together. If we don't have transportation, maybe she does. If, we don't have childcare, maybe she does, that kind of thing. So that's the important piece, that we partner, throughout this community all over the place. So it's basically a free program.
That's fantastic, and we definitely would like to get more of this information out because, again, as we reintegrate into opening our communities, these are skills that employers need. So when they complete this program, what are options for them with becoming employed with EOP?
Well, it's real simple. So we see, because a lot of times we need per diem people. We need some full-time people, depends on who's here, who's leaving, who's out, or whatever have you. So it's real simple. We just have you fill out an application, and then we just go on through the process. We just gather more information. We get your references, that kind of thing, and all of the stuff that we need to employ somebody. And the other part of this is we always try to work with other employers as well, to have them come in and speak to the students, to say, this is what we expect. When we're hiring our employees, and we'll use Wegmans for an example, that, we invite them in, they come and speak to say, this is our expectation of an employee, and they just run it down for you. And we've had them call to say, hey, do you have any students? We need some people in our food service area, or in our baking area, or in our, the can't think of it right now, but their meat area where they, do all their meats and their dairies areas and wherever else that they need people. And we've gotten that call. And sometimes we can't fill the need, but if we have more students, then we can. So it's not just us employing you, it's other employers that we invite to come and talk to you, to tell you, because then it's like, okay, they've seen you before, they know that you've been in our class, and then it might be a little easier for you to get through that door, and get a job. So we work at doing that as well. Once we get everything's intact, that's part of the training, is that you not just are here training, but you get to go and visit. We've done some visits to like some of the vendors that we use, like we use Kex, we've used Cisco before. And so sometimes what we did with the students is we actually took them on a field trip so they could see how, somehow they can some of their food that they cut and that kind of stuff. Because if you know food, you never know. You could work at a Kex, you could work at a Cisco, you could go into sales and marketing, for food. So, to me, it's endless, if you get into some of this type of food service, especially knowing it from the ground up.
Right. Well, it definitely is a pathway into moving further. And like you said, the skills that you learn there are absolutely transferable. And this is and the networking that is involved in this program, and the employers, the community members, the businesses. I mean, that's kind of what all training should really
be about. Oh, I agree. And the other thing is, one of the components we have in that, if the person doesn't have like their GED, we want them in the program, and we will, it's part of one of the requirements. So we would schedule them so they can get to a GED class.
That's fantastic. And this is a lot of our out of school youth. This is a great program for them, but even our community members who are young, to keep them busy, between the work and the training and just getting prepared for the workforce.
Exactly. And that's the thing, because the ultimate goal, like I said on my brochure, is self-sufficiency. We want you to be self-sufficient. We want you to be ready to work. We want to be able to support you through, even as you're working with us, not that you're out of the program, but it's like, okay, we need to tweak this. We need to tweak that. Or if it's something you don't know, we can help you with it. So it's not just about cooking. It's really training on how to work in the workplace. And, if you're having some challenges or you don't know how to handle something, we address that as well. So.
Well, that kind of leads me to my next question, Anita.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Is that, some of the individuals that you work with that may be able to come into this training for that 10 weeks, they do have children. Your organization also has a fantastic Head Start program. Again, you do the virtual schooling, tutoring, and whatnot. Did you want to touch a little bit on that?
Sure. So we have our Birth to 5 school readiness program. And we have, I think they have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 locations now. And we've continued through COVID, but basically it's 0 to 5. We give them breakfast, lunch, snack before they go home. We have toddlers. We have 3 and 4 years old. And I mean, they're here every day from like 8 to like 1:30, 2:30. And it's really like, with the education, it's like play with a purpose. So they get all kinds of development, and it's an income eligible program. And Amy Willette is our enroller for Head Start, early Head Start. And it's just such a great program because we have a location right here. There's 3 classrooms here. I think they're getting ready to do a couple other classrooms. And it's just, we have a classroom over at Libertad as well. And so it's like I said, it's income based, but it's 0 to 5.
I'm just gonna clarify, when Anita spoke on Libertad is a new beautiful apartment building that recently was built, which is right next door to their facility. And this Libertad is gorgeous. I did not realize you had the childcare base in there.
Yep.
And this is also income eligible. And again, like you were saying earlier, some veteran preferences as well. So, I mean, you're really giving somebody the opportunity that may have lack of transportation to have everything they need within a 1 block radius.
Yeah. Yeah. And so then I'll move to our school age, which is the centers of excellence, and their age is 5 to 12. And so we have a location here, we have a location at Divon and at Riverside. And so I know the kids are in hybrid right now, but we are here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and we're here all day because we have kids all day. And so, we're doing their schoolwork with them in our computer lab. They're getting they're getting 3 meals a day. They're getting breakfast, lunch, and dinner before they leave. And, on Thursday and Friday, we have a little more low attendance, but we have spots open. We have spots open, and, and it's changing a little bit, just because we're getting kids that need to get on computers and they need to have some extra tutoring. So we've been working through that. We actually are doing a program right now with some Notre Dame students where they're Zooming one-on-one with kids that need help. And they actually send them their assignments and they work together. This program kind of has a sliding scale, and it's basically, it's $15 a half a day, $25 a day. We take subsidy or private pay, for the program. So this is, is not per se income eligible because we can take any kid, any child, but we do take subsidy through Child Care Council. And I always urge people, if you are eligible for Child Care Council, please take advantage of it.
Absolutely.
Because it can help you, so we do. So we have 0 to 5, 5 to 12, the community center, thank God, with some of the physical stuff is hopefully getting ready to open, a little bit, and their ages like middle school, high school, because we have them chomping at the bit. And in the community center is kind of just open. It's a drop in, to the certain point. And that's where the bistro is located. So mm-hmm. Giving a plug back for the CFJP Bistro, it's a bistro, so you can get food for lunch. Right. We, it's come, grab and go. We do lunch. We, for anybody, for a big group, little group, but it's open because it's a small bistro. So, besides it being a community center, after 3 o'clock, it is a bistro during the day.
Right. That's amazing. Yeah. Can you touch a little bit on, your positions as far as your child care providers, mm-hmm. Teachers' aides? Because, again, I know with COVID, things mm-hmm. happen. Sometimes I'm sure you would need individuals that would be willing to come in a per diem or part-time basis.
Yeah, and we do, because we have some, I'm actually working on doing a sub list, waiting list for COE, for per diem, and you never know when it's going to turn into a full-time job or almost a full-time job with COE. Head Start, they have teachers assistants, teachers aides, having your CDA for childcare is a plus. We don't do it, but it's a plus to get in the door for both programs, really, because, we always can use staff, and we've actually moved staff across the board back and forth. With most positions, if they're for COE or Head Start, some of those entry positions, they're minimum wage. Some of the supervisory positions, they're more, lead teachers are a little more, and they're probably in the, $14, $15 range. The supervisories, they're probably up into the $18 range if you're a site supervisor, and Head Start. COE, most of them are minimum wage, and we're actually looking for a chef, but I'm going to put this out for the chef thing. So I'm looking to possibly do a contractual arrangement for a chef. Might be about 17 hours a week, but we're willing to pay probably anywhere from $25 to $30 an hour to do the training for our culinary program. So I'm sorry, I'm jumping all over the place, but
no,
keep it up with me, Carrie. And
It's what I
But we
do.
do, we do, with COVID-19, yeah, we know, it has been, really bad for some people, but it's also opportunity, and there are jobs out there. And I mean, I know we have some postings out there. One of the other postings that we have actually in our centers of excellence, we're starting to look for specialty care staff, which is so that we can work with kids with disabilities more than we do. We work with kids with disabilities, but we want to be able to work with them more than what we do. Even with our family support unit, our family support division works with families with disabilities. There are so many people sometimes that don't work because their kids, they have no childcare for kids with disabilities after school.
Correct.
So we're looking at working to do more of that. So we're looking for some specialty care staff right now, and it's paying about $14 an hour. It's in the classroom, but we're also looking at some administrative work to work with our family support program manager, because she has a lot. We do family recreation. It's a recreation program, and assessments for eligibility, which is service access for family support for kids with disabilities. So that's what she does in that unit. So instead of just getting, them eligible for services, and, we do some recreation with them, we want to be able to also serve the need maybe after school with some of those kids. So we're looking for some specialty care staff right now too, and some food service staff. We have an expansion of some food service, especially with all this food stuff that we're doing, with not just the program, but curbside meals. And we want to get out in the community and serve some meals. Everybody can't come here, so we got some other stuff going on. So there is some opportunity for some employment, here at EOP. So go to our Facebook page, go to our website. We post on Indeed for our jobs. So, they're usually out there. Please like us on Facebook. There's lots of information out there that we post all the time.
Absolutely, there are. And I know your social media platforms are up to date, and you just show some good things in the community. You really do. But thank you for addressing on, where to find either Facebook on your webpage itself and or Indeed. So, Carrie, do you have any questions?
I don't think I do. I had them, and then you guys kept answering them as soon as I saw them.
Yeah, and people move up and down 17, even from Hornell and all of that. So, we're here, and we just, and like I said, partnering with you all, and, I'm going to start probably reaching out to you guys too to say, do you have anybody? Do you have any people? Because that's how we find good people. And we do. I mean, even when, we had, the pathways to employment, we did it. I can't tell you how many employers work here from that.
Yeah. No, I completely understand.
Yeah, I think we have a guy in our finance department, and I think he's been here almost 4 or 5 years now, but he came through pathways to employment, first choices or whatever. We have a few.
Yeah.
And they're great employees.
Yes, absolutely. It takes all of us to help in the community and get it, get you connected with that job seeker and vice versa, and to be able to be open about, your expectations and, how our individuals in the community can actually upskill themselves to really make themselves more marketable. And programs like this are just absolutely needed.
Yeah. Because
even in the food service, in our fast food industry, some of our community members just don't have enough knowledge.
Exactly.
Yes, entry level position. Yes, it's a, I'm not even going to say minimum wage because it's not, it's higher, right. But it allows you to upskill yourself to make you a better candidate for employment.
Exactly. And that's the thing, we want to give people those skills, and there's our hope that maybe even if they have an entry level job, that they will then go on to do something else. That's our goal, to
Absolutely.
promote them from within here or out of here.
Right? Exactly.
You know?
All right. If you'll hold on a second when we're done, Anita.
Yeah.
But thank you, and Carrie, thanks for being a
Thanks,
part.
Carrie. Nice to meet you.